This is Jack, and this is Koo. I guess he's insisting on being in this week's video. Um, sorry. Um, so this week's topic is coming out, which for me is kind of interesting in that in every realm of my life, my coming out status is kind of different. I'm basically completely open about being trans at my school because my logic was I don't really have any friends there, so I don't really care about what anyone thinks of me, so I might as well be myself. Um, Actually, getting braver about being myself in that realm of my life helped me get braver in other realms. I'm open with all my friends about being trans. Well, all the ones I interact with on a weekly or often basis. Mostly the ones who pay some amount of attention to my Facebook because, like, I switched my gender there a long time ago, which was kind of like a subtle coming out kind of thing to people who paid attention. My family doesn't really pay that much attention, so not that many really caught it. And then my family realm. I came out to my mom and dad when I was with my ex. She was with me, and we were engaged at the time. And she seemed to be very behind the transition. She wasn't, but she was there and held my hand when I told my parents that I was trans. And what I think was the most helpful thing about explaining it to them was um, I I spent about a year doing my research before I wanted to declare myself trans and come out to people about it. I first came out as genderqueer, um, started natural transitioning, realized I wanted to be a man, not just male gendered transmasculine, and then began identifying as a trans man to myself. But I was with my partner, and she held my hand while I told my parents all of the research I'd had over the past year because it helped back up. My parents are very school, college-y type. They're both sociology professors, super politically correct. And it was interesting in that my mom has taken it better than my dad, which was different than when I came out as gay when I was in high school, because my mom definitely took that much less happily than my dad did. My dad went out and he went to a hotel and protested with a sign saying, "I'm here because my daughter is gay" on the news in our city. It was, yeah. Um, but he was not supportive of the trans thing. He still isn't. It's hard for me to explain to him about how much better I've felt since I started transitioning in my life and being open about it to my parents. Because I was on T for about 2 months before I even told my parents I had started it. I'd come out to them subtly, but then I kind of had a huge talk. This is what I'm doing, kind of thing. That was the one where my partner was there with me, and they didn't really have any questions. My mom did, and so what I did to help with that, and my mom has taken the transition more smoothly because of it, I think, is I invited her to my next T doctor appointment so she could ask any medical questions she wanted, and I invited her to my next gender therapy appointment so she could ask questions of my therapist if she wanted. Ooh, stop it. But, sorry. My God, he's eating my headphones. Anyway, so I invited my mom to both of those appointments, and it really helped to get all of her questions answered. I also directed her to the ftmguide.org, Hudson's FTM Guide. It's been immensely helpful to me, and the book that was recommended to me for my parents was the book The Transgender Child by my gender therapist, so I'm not sure. I haven't read it myself. I'm planning to because I'm interested in gender studies anyway, part of my major. And so that might be a good book to look at. I'm not going to say I've read it because I haven't, but I trust my therapist, and it really seemed to help my mom. So, so I guess my tips for coming out would be know your stuff, know who you are, because it's easier to hold your ground when you're sure of yourself. If they ask questions, make sure you can have the best answers you can to back up what you're saying. You might not always have the answers, in which case you should offer maybe to direct them to some other resource who can help them. And then it helps to have someone there with you who loves you and cares about you. Uh, uh, it makes it a lot easier, even if your parents aren't super supportive. And then I guess the last thing is give them time. Give everyone time. This is a big thing. It's not just, it's not like, oh, I got into Harvard. That was a horrible example. But it's not like, oh, I got into this school. This is that's a life-changing thing too. Damn it. Anyway, it's a huge thing, and treat it as such, because it's gonna have an impact on whoever you tell it to, whoever you come out to, wherever you decide that will be, whether it's at work, at your school, with your parents, at home, whatever it is. Make sure that you feel safe, and when you get stronger in one realm, it'll help you to spread into the other ones as well. And that's all I have on that subject. So, see you guys next week.